GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Star Trek: The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission: to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Naomi Wildman. I was setting it up. Oh. Welcome to the GNT show, where obviously we have no script.
Yeah, let's just get this puppy started.
As always, the beautiful, the lovely, the high-booted, short-skirted, big-breasted Terry Lynn.
That would be me. Admiral Shaw.
She's badass. It's Ceridium.
Good morning. It's Sunday on the GNT show.
You know the worst part of this morning? It's not the getting up early. It's the fact they're making me wear clothes to do the show.
It's time for coffee clutch.
Strap on your helmets, boys and girls. It's gonna get rough.
Oh, it's going to be one of those mornings.
Let me put on my seatbelt, my helmet with the little blinky light on top.
For safety.
When we decided we were going to do the GNT show,
Man.
one of the things we said was no standards. GNT show does not go on the air because we're ready. It goes on the air because it's 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Mike could have snapped by then and killed us both. Pain sticks for Mike, evidently.
We have our production meetings on the air.
Well, it's the best way to get you to adhere to things.
Yeah, you've now set an expectation. That's the thing about the GNT show, is we set no expectations.
I need more coffee.
Wow,
I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to do general news or Star Trek news, and I figured
this is
out.
Terry
Fuck
having
it.
a series of small
It's news.
strokes, actually.
Boy, it doesn't take long for this show to deteriorate, does it?
Straight the fuck downhill.
I don't always podcast, but when I do, I G&T.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 194. I'm Terry Lynn.
Kapla! I'm Ceridium, and it's Sunday.
It's
and
Sunday.
We have a show to do.
We have a show to do. Nick, Mr. Gettysburg himself, is out today attending Awesome Con. He is, as we speak, he's probably preparing his stocking orders for the day. He's going to be stocking Dina Meyer.
Again.
Again.
He's working on that, coveted restraining order.
Right.
Add to his collection.
So it's just Mike and I today, which I think is going to be just fine. We will be, farting around. So what'd you do this week, Mike?
Not much, actually. I just played games, pretty much.
Oh, good for you. You deserved a week like that, though.
Oh, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting burned out on video games now. So
oh, boy.
Got time to get writing,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a bad thing because I've been wanting to. But I've been playing a lot of the Trexels.
Oh,
and,
really?
Oh, I'm enjoying it. I mean,
Good for you.
I've unlocked most of my saucer section. I think I've got like 2 squares left on that, and I haven't even completed the first system map. So I still have plenty to do there. I've got all kinds of. I'm enjoying it. I'm finding it rather enjoyable. It's not. I enjoyed the Family Guy, Star Trek event.
Yeah.
But this moves along a lot faster. I mean, you're not waiting 6 hours for something to complete. Every 15 minutes there's something to do. So in between, I can either choose to run a mission from the system map, or I can, fly through a debris field blowing up bits of garbage.
Cool.
So I've got my crew, I've got my officers. I'm having fun with it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I have it. I just haven't played it. I actually I have it on my iPad, but I just haven't played it yet. But I will soon, I'm sure.
It's not the greatest mobile game in the world, but I'm enjoying it.
I'll tell you, I am looking forward to Timelines.
As am I. Yes.
I think that's going to be
that one
really
looks
fun.
like it's going to be even better. I mean, the stories in Trexels are kind of small, one shot, little things, but they are reminiscent of Trek. But Timelines, I mean, that seems like they are really pulling all the stops out with Timelines. So
too. Now, anything else you did?
I watched Stryker's TV pilot.
Yeah, for people who are listening who might not know what he's talking about, it's not real, but it's really, really weird. It's just really weird. I laughed. I did. I laughed because it was a big Riker Does Aliens joke.
It was, and it was kind of funny.
But it was kind of funny. But it was perfect because in how long is the whole thing? Maybe 45 seconds?
Oh, it's not long at all. I mean,
it's really short.
Minutes at most, yeah.
And if anything, anything, just the way that the fan cut the film was. Oh, good, thank you. Was how did the person pegged everybody's character, right? In just one glance or one look, they pegged what it was about Deanna that used to annoy the shit out of me. This was the pre-Starfleet uniform Deanna, and I used to hate her guts. And the reason why is because she was such a fucking priss. Oh my god, I hated her. So it was to see her kind of get a stick up her butt was really funny. I laughed and laughed and laughed.
Other than that, I mean, like I said, I played a lot of games. My nephews and niece were over yesterday, and they drove me up the wall. But you know, I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played games. I played some Stowe. I played Trexels. I played some Final Fantasy IV. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
How about you? What have you done this week?
Well, I worked, of course. Played golf. You know, our lives. I've shifted. I feel bad for sorry everyone. I do. I kind of forgot to tell him that Wednesday nights are no longer available to me because I'm now in a golf league and we play on Wednesday nights. So Wednesday nights are normally when we do our interviews or our supplemental logs. And unfortunately, this week I had to make Mike kind of renegotiate a couple of things.
I juggled many interviews.
You did. You did juggle many interviews, but now he knows that Wednesdays are bad. So, but that was really fun. I was in the same league last year, but we played on Monday nights. This year we're playing on Wednesday nights. And it's nicer because around here, Monday nights, restaurants tend to be closed or they close early because it's just not a very popular night. So after we played golf last year, you know, restaurants and bars were closed after we finished our golf. So we never really got anything to eat. This time around, it's been much nicer. So after we play, and we switch between two different courses. We switch between Santa Ana Golf Course and Twin Warriors Golf Course. When Twin Warriors is just this amazingly beautiful high-end golf course attached to the Hyatt Regency here in New Mexico. And so we play 9 holes there. And what's great is it only costs us $1 a hole. I mean, this is like during the high season, early tee times, you know, it's like 150 a round. And for us for our league, we end up playing, it ends up being about $18 or $2 a hole, $18 nice. a week. It's great.
Right on.
Yeah, so we had fun. I suck horribly, but I have fun. You know what I mean? I get to hang with people from work who all make me laugh, and we're all big golfers in the office. There's sports and competition in this office are there's very few of my coworkers that are like non-sports people. Son. Yeah, I know you want to. But there's very few people in our office who are kind of anti-activity. Everybody else is either, you know, in the golf league or they're in a softball league or, you know, they just like to get out. They're very competitive. My boss is horrifically competitive to the point where I have to tell him to chill the fuck out. I'm serious. I look at him and I go, Alan, not you, Alan, the other
San Dimas football rules.
Oh, yeah, San Dimas football, San Dimas high school football rules. But yeah, he's kind of like that in that competitive way.
Right on.
Even in bowling, we went bowling with him once, and I wanted to kill him. I was like, dude,
"Oh my gosh,
dude, it's not for real. This is just." So it's very fun. So I did that this week, and played a little bit of Stowe, and then had a very nice visit with Bran Flakes last night.
Nice. How's Brandon doing?
Brandon is great. For those who may not know, before there was Morrigan at Star Trek Online, and before there was, and that's it. What's his name? Trevor. Well, I was thinking of his S name, and I was like, why am I missing it? Bran Flakes used to be the community manager and the head of community management at Perfect World. He was also the Star Trek Online writer. Before that, the Star Trek Online writer for Massively. And before that, he was with Priority One Podcast. And that's how I met him, was through Priority One Podcast. Mm-hmm. And when he was at Massively, and when he left Massively to take a job at Cryptic or at Perfect World, he called me and said, you might want to send in your resume, your writing resume. So I did. I sent it into AOL, and he sent in a recommendation, and I got the job, which was great. So he's been just a wonderful friend for years now, and he was helping one of his friends move to Kansas. He's on her way to Kansas, so they drove through Albuquerque to spend the night through round 2. So they made it from California to New Mexico yesterday, long day, 12 hours. And then today it'll be, I think, probably about 9 or 10 hours for them to get to Wichita. So it was fun. It was great to see him. He's doing great. He is at Riot Games now. He's in, I don't even want to say it's community management. They don't really have community management per se at League of Legends, which is where he's at. But he is in the community area, and he's more of a liaison between the developers who have direct contact with the players and the company. So he's kind of, they have a team of people who act as more like PR and international relations. And most of the people who play League of Legends are not US. They're mostly Asian and European, and it's monster. It's the number one game out there right now. Huge.
Interesting.
They have professional leagues. Professional.
Right on.
Money involved. Professional leagues and competitions and global league, because it's all PvP, the whole game. It's not really an MMO. It's a PvP form. That's it. There's no story behind it really or anything.
That would make the competition aspect, a lot more available than in Stoke, which doesn't really have PvP.
Right. And although it's free to play, they make their money on microtransactions that are mostly that are all cosmetic. That's really what it is. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But he loves it. He absolutely loves it. The Riot Games moved their offices recently to from one part of Los Angeles to another part of Los Angeles. He and Patrick are doing well.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
So, shall we get into a little bit of Star Trek news?
I'm sure there's plenty of it going around.
I think you and I have a boatload, which is, kind of fun, actually.
Cool.
Star Trek news.
Why don't you start off first?
Okay. Let me grab the first link.
Coffee.
Okay,
Good.
so this is a link for, it's called Our Star Trek, the 50-year mission. This was a Kickstarter, let's see, from...
No, it's over with because they've already met their goal and everything, right?
Yes,
done.
they released this, they finished the video and released it. They had a Kickstarter some time ago. They raised $2,075, and what they have done is put together a 10-minute video, essentially, that kind of takes a look at Star Trek, but through the eyes of Star Trek Continues. They're talking with the cast and the crew, and they're discussing what it is about Star Trek that really appealed to them and what got them involved in wanting to recreate with such love and affection the original series. I thought it was a great little documentary. And speaking of Star Trek Continues, I don't have a link, but the new episode is out.
Yes.
The White Iris.
Yes.
If you have not seen it, oh my God.
I have not seen it yet, so no spoilers, but I saw that Sun Sayal said that it made her cry.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God.
Many times.
Really?
I will say that we kind of get an insight into Kirk's more into Kirk's history, his backstory, but also the through the people that he's encountered. I'll just put it that way.
Okay. So it's a character piece.
Very much so. But a lot of what they have done, Star Trek Continues, is heavily character-based.
That's true.
And they tell great stories, and they do have, the more... I mean, it's really well done. They really do try to recreate the look, the feel, the stories, the emotions that are attributed with the original series, and they succeed and blow it away. James, if you're listening, bravo, sir, bravo.
Yeah. Well, James Kerwin directed the episode,
and Kipley is
Kipley's in it, and
awesome in it.
We love Kipley, and but I'm very excited for everybody at Star Trek Continues because they've From what I can understand, they're keeping the quality up, and that's pretty awesome. Awesome. Well, congrats to everybody at Star Trek Continues for another successful episode release. They did a premiere at Phoenix Comic Con this past weekend, and it is now live. You can watch it at StarTrekContinues.com.
Yeah, I put the link in our chat room. It'll be in our show notes.
Perfect. What's next? A little bit of product news. We'll kind of go back and forth. A little bit of product news.
New Star Trek products are coming in soon.
For those people who play It's funny, is I know people who collect Attack Wing. I'm not sure I've ever met anybody who's actually played it. Does that make sense? Attack Wing is the little miniatures for the game.
They are cool. They're a tabletop.
It's a tabletop miniatures card game kind of thing. I have yet to meet somebody who has actually played the game, but I do know people who collect the little miniatures that come out for it. Well, a new release has come out, the IKS Ning Tao expansion pack, which will be available in June as part of Star Trek Attack Wing Wave 15. Burrell class ship is able to nimbly move about the field and keep its target in sight. So the cards that are involved are the IKS Ning Tao Core, Martok, and Worf.
Now she didn't stutter or repeat herself. There are actually two versions of Core.
Of Core,
there's
right?
young
The
Core
young version,
and old Core.
Old Core. And so there's also additional like Derek and the strafing attacks and some of the other attack moves that you can make in the game. So there's that, but the little, like I said, I know people who actually just collect it for things.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. All right, what do you got?
Let's see. Well, it's not Star Trek news exactly, but I thought it was very interesting.
All right.
So it was something that the Fox CEO had said. He doesn't want, or the Fox chief operating officer James Murdoch, he had told investors on Monday that the studio needs content that doesn't come from Marvel in order to thrive. I mean, I thought that was something that was kind of interesting and unique. I mean, he wants his studio to be known for more than Marvel or comic book type of films.
It might also have something to do with the fact that he knows that he can't make them the same way, that they've never been able to make a movie that's been quite as successful as what Disney's doing with Marvel. And
also
not the
true.
least of, I mean, let's face it, you know what you're up against in your competition, and Disney's going to eat them alive. They have to have they can't rely on Wolverine and the Fantastic
X-Men
Four,
and
right?
Fantastic Four. Exactly. And I mean, they also mentioned that Disney has also a habit of stealing their franchises out from underneath them. They did it with Star Wars essentially, and because they had released been there for the first 6 films, and now Star Wars is a Disney property,
right?
And they have to keep making the comic book films every few years in order to keep their license, in order to keep them.
Right.
So, but
so why don't they just let them go? That's part of my thing is, why don't they just let them go? Why don't they sell them back to Disney? Let Disney do what they do best with them and use the cash to find something new.
True. Something unique.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
It's not like there's not a lot of wonderful books and other universes out there that can be made. Look at what HBO did with one guy's set of fantasy novels.
True. I mean, there are a lot of possibilities. I mean, there's a lot of things that they could be doing. They seem to be pretty successful with the Planet of the Apes films that they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So they do know how to. Obviously, they do know how to make some good movies. It's just, it's just perhaps they just need to let go and move on and just do things that fits them better.
Yep.
And the same could be said for Sony. I mean, Lord knows they're not doing too hot with Spider-Man.
Well, and they sold...
and they did. And
didn't they sell Spider-Man back or are releasing it back to Disney?
They're sharing it.
They're sharing it. That's right. Sony is sharing it back.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's okay to let it go and focus on other things, you know? I mean, I would like it.
Yeah, it would be great. It really would be great to see. It would be great to see. It would be great. Okay, so do we want to start talking about the movies?
My next two items are movie related, so
okay,
sure.
Let's go for it. You go next. We have so much stuff, guys. It's been fun. When Mike and I were talking about all the links we had, we were like, holy crap, we have shit to talk about.
I got this one, you got that one. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Star Trek movie news.
So next up is Simon Pegg Said.
Yeah, this week on Simon Pegg Said.
Apparently, he's open to the idea of William Shatner appearing in Star Trek Beyond, only if the story is right. Which kind of leads me into the next one.
Doesn't he know what the story is? He's
I know, really. Which leads to the next one that says that the Star Trek 3 script is almost ready, but shooting starts in a month. So, is the story right or not?
I had also heard that he said the first draft is done.
True.
First draft is done, and they start filming in 4 weeks.
Cutting it close there, huh?
Yeah. Well, we knew they would be. We knew they would be. I mean, this was when Orsi was summarily dismissed, we knew that things were going to be put in a crunch. I just have to say, I'm grossly intrigued by how bad that script had to have been for Paramount to have said, oh yeah, no, we're not doing this. I have to know. I almost want to know how bad that had to be. I have that really kind of weird curiosity as to
now. Is it bad or is it just too Star Trek-y? I mean, what?
I don't believe that Mr. Orsi has the ability to write anything Star Trek-y.
Oh.
So I talked about this a little bit last week too. You know, when Simon Pegg said that Paramount said that they wanted things less Star Trek-y. I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing because what they're looking for is that Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing, right? Which is action and heart. And I do know that Simon Pegg can write for heart. So I'm going to be very optimistic in this and say that's what he's going to be writing for is character and heart. Doesn't matter what these characters go through. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Roger Sanderson says he imagines it was worse than Star Trek Into Darkness. And I'm thinking, yeah, it might have been. I don't know. So I had that really kind of bizarre, warped sense of curiosity to read that script just to see if it was bad or maybe, you know, I don't know. I can't even imagine. However, they're moving forward. On the heels of that,
Simon Pegg Said.
On this week on Simon Pegg Said, Star Trek Beyond, which seems to be the confirmed title, although it hasn't been confirmed. Has it? Have you seen anything?
Well, he's using that title as he's going about. So either he's really, you know, playing along with it.
The only thing that would make me totally happy about that, now, it's not that I don't really hate the title. I don't think it's not like Star Trek Into Darkness, but it is pretty milquetoast. Star Trek Beyond. It would be if there was a like Madness, like a ska version of a Star Trek theme where, you know, Madness did One Step Beyond. Do 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 do. He did there are some confirmations regarding the cast. Well, we knew everybody in the main cast was coming back, namely because they had the 3-picture deal they had to do. Sophia Boutella is quote unquote an unknown lead role. Zoe Saldana, Carl Urban, Zachary Quinto, Chris Pine, John Cho, and Anton Yelchin. Joseph Gatt is back as Officer 0718, which actually makes me happy to see him back on the bridge. I hope he gets a line or two this time.
Yeah, I'm hoping he gets a little more on screen, because he's probably one of the most unique additions, and we know absolutely nothing about him.
But the next one, Simon Pegg has all but confirmed that Idris Elba will be in this movie. And I know that I'm totally excited about this, right? You do understand.
Of course.
Giddy. Okay. Because I freaking love him.
There's some ridges on that man. He'd make a fine Klingon.
I'm really wondering whether or not he's going to be playing a Klingon. Although, I don't know. Will he be a villain? I don't know.
Well,
and there's still rumors that Bryan Cranston might be involved.
Now, he would make an awesome villain, but I'm just saying. And he would look fine with a pair of ridges as well, but
Well, that's true,
I'm just impartial. I'm just impartial that way. But the article that you posted mentions that Elba would be their choice for a villain. I would go the other way.
I don't want him to be a villain.
I would like to see Cranston as the villain and Elba as the,
maybe a
Starfleet
good admiral this
or
time?
something. Yeah.
Yeah, a good admiral would be very nice.
Or
I would
another
like to see an admiral who doesn't,
or even another captain that's there to help, that the Enterprise is there to either help, assist, or cooperate with.
Yeah. Oof, he is a handsome man. So that's kind of what the information we have this week for Star Trek Beyond. We do know they start filming soon, so if you guys happen to hear of anything that we can confirm, let us know. Everything right now is still rumor for the most part. Whatever Simon Pegg says, we all kind of go, "Ooh, what's going on?" But I don't know about you. Simon Pegg says. We'll see what he says next week.
Yeah.
Simon says.
Simon says, yeah, really. Okay.
You next.
Let's see, John Scalzi and his monster book deal. So a little bit of book news.
Book news.
Holy crap, right?
I know. It was like, damn.
I know. I can imagine that there's just a pang of jealousy from pretty much every science fiction writer out there right now going, fucker. Why don't you tell everybody what Mr. Scalzi was able to contract?
Well, he and his publisher Tor announced that for $3.4 million, that's million with an M, Scalzi would write 13 books over the next 10 years. This is significant because the last time anything even close happened was Alistair Reynolds. In 2009, he signed a commitment for 10 books in 10 years for $1.5 million or £1 million British pounds. So this is a big precedent, and the article mentions that the contract sets a very public precedent for science fiction authors to use as a negotiating point. So I'm sure Dayton's talking to his people now. So
we love Dayton. We love Dayton.
Yes, we do. He's
been such a busy man. They're attending a conference coming up soon too. Dayton is
quite a few
in Phoenix.
From what I've seen. I think he's in Phoenix right now.
Yeah, he's in Phoenix now. And no, he's not. He's not at Phoenix Comic Con.
Oh,
somewhere else. Oh, I don't know. Sorry, Dayton. I messed up your calendar. I don't know where you're at, honey.
We'll have to get him on the show sometime soon. Hint.
Sorry, I made you reschedule.
It's okay. We're going to talk to him soon, though. That is going to happen. I've got it.
It was everybody. It was Dayton. We had to reschedule because of my golf, and now I'm going to get so much shit from him because he found out that I put him off for golf. Yay me! Go Terry.
Could be worse.
I thought that was pretty damn interesting about Mr. Scalzi getting a whopping check. That's pretty amazing.
You have to keep in mind that usually the kinds of people that get these huge book deals tend to be like celebrities with their tell-alls, or someone you've never heard of that did something that was remotely unique or whatever. It doesn't happen to sci-fi writers, it seems like. And here we are, a great storyteller, and finally getting something that it deserves. And I'm very happy for Mr. Scalzi.
Me too. I'm happy for the genre.
Definitely.
Which is great. As you can see from the picture I just posted, I received my copy of Armageddon's Arrow, Star Trek The Next Generation, Armageddon's Arrow by Dayton Ward. It took me a while. I was a little worried.
Right on.
I had gotten an email from Amazon saying I wouldn't be getting it till the 15th. And I was like, dude, but I pre-ordered and everything. Why is mine going to be late? It got here.
Right on. Have you started reading it?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be ordering it soon. My birthday's coming up in June, so...
Roger Sanderson just put in the chat room, he goes, I'm going to die. You're going to die in a book and you'll be killed by a golf ball. But you know what? That's probably exactly what Dayton would do. Kill me off by a golf ball. Although would it be
the same golf ball shot off of the moon by the astronauts in the Apollo missions? It's been traveling through space this whole time.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I love it.
You're out in the hall doing maintenance, and all of a sudden, poop. Okay.
That's pretty funny. Okay. Let's see. Another little bit of product news. Although technically it's not, I'll let you guys figure it out. Here, a new beer came out. It is not a Star Trek licensed beer, but it is called Trekker. In the way that one would trek across on a bicycle as opposed to trekking through space. However, the person who bought the beer thought immediately of Star Trek and so made that connection. However, it is Trekker Pale Ale made by Sebago Brewing Company. Its alcohol content is 5.3. Looks pretty good.
So there's a new beer to be used in various drinking games.
Yes.
Such as the Squirrel game that we like to play here on the GNT show.
That's exactly right.
You drink every time one of us
Nick
squirrels.
takes us on a squirrel. Well, notice there hasn't. Yeah, we won't go there.
Our audience is hammered all the time. Trust me.
There's a great little article here from IO9 about how Stargate. You want to?
Oh, sure. Let me grab that one.
I've got it. I put it in there. About how Stargate and Star Trek paved the way for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And before everybody who's been a Marvel comic book fan flips out, going, Marvel's been around just as long, if not longer, than Star Trek.
Longer, but
that's true.
That's okay.
It is true. The point that this person is making is
in terms of their film
and television background, right? Yeah. That these shows paved the way for the ability for larger universes to be touched upon in a cinematic way. What Marvel is doing, or what Disney is doing with Marvel, with their films, television, Netflix, and being able to maintain a singular universe with multiple shows.
Yep. Star Trek did it first, pretty much, with their TOS and then the animated series. And then in the 80s, although they did try to get Phase 2 off the ground, that didn't, but that ended up morphing into the films.
Right.
And then there was Next Generation, Voyager. They forgot Deep Space Nine in this article, which I thought was a crime. But yeah, go ahead.
No, that's exactly right. It was. I think it really was the combined idea of having the TNG films, the DS9, Voyager on the same time, in the same universe, right?
In the same continuity.
In the same continuity. Now, of course, Voyager wasn't really affected by what was going on in the Dominion War because they were fucking in the Delta Quadrant.
Well, there was one or two. There were a few very small episodes that it did, but very, very, very minor.
Very, but it really touched on what Paramount or what CBS started to panic about, which was this idea of oversaturation. Wasn't oversaturation as much as it really was, I think, quality problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marvel learned from what Stargate was doing with its multiple shows and what Star Trek did with its multiple shows, and figured out what they had done wrong and was able to make it successful. I think that's why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is successful, is because they are treating it as one universe, allowing for crossover, allowing for somebody to
Stargate
get...
was the master of crossover. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's from SG-1, and then once they released the Atlantis, I mean, it was like every season there would be multiple episodes that crossed back and forth. So you were either watching SG-1 and you got to see several members of the Atlantis crew show back up, or you're watching Atlantis and there's, Captain Carter, there's, Teal'c was in it. They had multiple episodes with Robert Picardo's character. In fact, he joined for a whole season,
Right.
So, and both of these shows, they had characters. It wasn't just about like one character. It was about all of their characters and all the different things that they went through, So it really, it did help establish, what we're seeing in Avengers, where all of these characters are unique individuals. They all have their own stories, and we're seeing bits and pieces. So, yeah.
And I know Roger Sanderson said he thought he mentioned it in his email. And I think he's
we have a couple emails that we have to discuss later.
And that's exactly right. I mean, we're sorry, they just put Matthew Anderson has a tendency of posting these pictures that every so often just make me laugh, and I have to back up. That one made me laugh. But I really think that was part of the that is part of the problem was where Star Trek was concerned. I don't think it was oversaturation as much as it was. I don't think that they were quite connected enough because Voyager was so separate from DS9. Didn't really get the opportunity to feel that they were the same consistent universe.
The only time that we really got to see Voyager connected to anything was through the Barclay character,
right?
And through Barclay, by extension, we got Troy,
right? But and even at that period of time, they should have been, well, by that period of time, DS9 was done with, right? So
yeah, I think so.
And so the Dominion War is kind of over, and so to me, it wasn't that it was oversaturation. Part of me was like, it just wasn't quite enough. That's when the viewership taste started to change, and we wanted less episodic, more involved characters. I don't know. We'll see. It's an interesting article from IO9. So
yeah, I mean,
there's another one that I thought was kind of fun from Blaster. I don't think you got this one, Mike.
I didn't. Go ahead.
The GIF that they just put in there with that dog. All right.
That is giving it his all.
Blaster came through with the 21 most interesting supporting characters in Star Trek. I love this. Love this column. I think this is fun. So they had
interesting
Naomi Wildman.
Right on.
As then Morn, Miles O'Brien, Keiko O'Brien.
Hold on. Morn is the most interesting character, period, and he didn't say a goddamn thing. I mean, how much more interesting is that? I mean, he has to be the epitome of cool. All he did was sit at a bar and drink. And yeah, wow.
I love Morn.
Bravo.
I do. Miles O'Brien, Keiko O'Brien. I'm glad she's kind of low. Although it kind of makes me wonder why she's more interesting than her husband. I think Miles has got her beat down. Gowron, of course. Great
eyeballs,
character. Crazy bastard. Love him. Yeah, he went a little loopy. Sarek, wonderful character. Luoxana, I totally agree. She's so fun. Janice Rand, Yeoman Rand.
Right on.
Martok.
She got Rand got more interesting, I think, in the films than in the show. But
yeah. Barclay.
The picture they used for Barclay.
The picture they used for Barclay is great. Guinan. I always have to say, you're doing great when you walk away from a series or a television show and you think, I wanted to know more about them. Guinan was so mysterious. I would have loved to have seen more about her. Rom, Lita.
I love that. I love
Rom, Lita, which we love. Yay. Seska.
She was evil cool. She was cool evil.
Yeah, she was just pissed off. All around pissed off. Weyoun.
Anything with Jeffrey Combs is just awesome.
Anybody with Jeffrey Combs, exactly. Nog. I would totally agree. Great supporting character. I'm very much looking forward to Aaron Eisenberg's performance in Star Trek Online. Yep.
That made me squeak.
I know. Gul Dukat.
Oh, he was just evil, but man, he did it so good.
So well. well.
He just,
Damar. I liked him because his character was so complex.
Yeah. I mean, he was
Never thought I'd see a redeemable Cardassian. He made it that way. Yeah.
I mean, he was the Cardassian that was always trying to do the right thing for Cardassia, and he was just always following the wrong asshole.
It was his whole motto should be fine. Fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Exactly.
Ro Laren.
Okay, I'm reading a Star Trek novel right now.
One of the DS9 ones.
It's one of the DS9 ones. She's captain.
She's the commander now, right? Which I never bought, but whatever.
It's the one where let's see, the DS9 was destroyed. And this is the one where they're starting the rebuilding process. So, but yeah, I'm kind of enjoying her character, though. How she got into that position, I'm lost. I don't know how she became the captain of the station.
That's exactly. I'm telling you, is that's the one thing. I know that they came up with the sci-fi retcon bullshit to do it, but it still makes me roll my eyes because I'm like, yeah, it would never happen. It just wouldn't happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the way that her character was established, it was just she would have ran the other direction if anyone approached her with any kind of command. She's just too much of a loner or doing her own thing, her own way. Yeah, rebel.
Dottie, I'm a rebel.
Rebel base.
Phew. Well, that goes without saying, right?
Yeah.
And number 1 or 21 is Garrick, which is absolutely true. My favorite.
Yes, he is.
My favorite DS9 character.
He is the most interesting man in the galaxy.
And he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is I saw some say, I'll say, what about Wynn? What about Kai Wynn? Yeah, she should have been on the list. I would have replaced Kai Wynn with Keiko.
True, yeah.
Keiko.
Yeah.
I don't understand why somebody thought she was interesting because she totally wasn't.
I mean, they got rid of they got rid of her. They sent her to Bajor for most of the latter part of the season of the series.
Yeah.
You know, how interesting is that? She's a botanist. Go ahead and do plant stuff elsewhere. Leave us alone.
And then she whines about not being around her.
Yeah. It was sad.
Sorry.
I've got an article I want to share.
Cool.
Not really Star Trek, but this is like just totally awesome. So, you know, there's a Big Bang Theory scholarship now.
It's a monster one too, everyone.
Yeah. So Chuck Lorre and his production company have taken they created an endowment that will go directly to 20 low-income students entering science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yep.
So these are the STEM fields, and it's for UCLA. And let's see, at this
and then
year,
they add 5 more students in perpetuity every year, or 4.
Then benefit 5 new students each academic year in perpetuity.
Right.
But what I thought was very, very cool is the entire all of the actors, all the main cast, the producers. Let's see, where Chuck Lorre, Bill Prady, Steve Molor, as well as several members of the crew have all contributed. So this is really something that the entire show is behind.
Right.
And I thought that was fantastic. And the endowments kicks things off with $4 million. I mean, wow.
That's really cool.
So here's this fictional TV show, and they're having a real world impact on people's lives.
Yep.
Totally
Isn't that
awesome.
great? Yeah, it's really awesome. It really is. So congratulations and thank you to the people at Big Bang Theory. It's a wonderful project and a legacy. It's the best word to use it. That's when you use the term legacy, because they're going to be helping 20 people now and 5 people every year in perpetuity get through school and STEM fields. So thank you. We need more access for low-income students to get into the sciences.
Right on. I mean, that's just totally awesome. So I'm done with everything that I have, but I have things to talk about later on for Stowe News and then mail. So anything else you need to talk about, go ahead.
Why don't we talk about, well, that's what I've got left, is I've got Timeline, Stowe, and the con. So why don't we talk the mail? Why don't we get through the mail?
Okay, let me grab that.
Great. How's everybody in the chat room today? Oh, that's that's a cool cosplay. Matthew Anderson just posted a picture of a gender-swapped Captain America. Very cool.
Yeah, that is
Gender-swapped
hot.
Thor. That's pretty cool, too. That's coming, though. Gender-swapped Thor. I can't wait for the female Thor. That's going to be rock.
Okay, I don't need to talk about our Star Trek one, because we already did that.
Yep.
Which, by the way, was brought to our attention by Larry Nemechek, who does make an appearance in the video. So definitely check it out. And thank you, Larry. Wait, no, that's not. I thought I had saved it.
What was this?
Okay, here it is. Okay, I'm almost ready. I had saved a lot of
yeah. We had a lot of
interview
links, everybody.
discussion.
We really did.
Yeah. So this is from Mr. Sanderson. Greetings, GNT show. I missed listening to last week's show live because I didn't feel like it, and of course, I missed some great conversations. I would have added my 2 cents too, and at least I would have tried, given how fast the chat room moves along. Instead, I'm going to dump all my thoughts on you all at once. Enjoy. The oversaturation of Star Trek. I've heard this before, and I would have called bullshit on it. But thinking about it, there actually was oversaturation. There was oversaturation of the exact same ideas from the exact same people for years. I'm going to stop there because otherwise this email would take a couple of weeks to read. Time travel, The Flash. Nick, this is basically for you. Sorry, Nick's not here, but I'll read it anyways. I think I have a theory of how the timeline can remain even though Eobard no longer exists. I came up with this idea while watching the 12 Monkeys TV series.
Oh.
Great show, by the way. And
yeah.
It is. The reason the timeline can continue to exist is because up until the moment that Eddie shot himself, Eobard's timeline was still a potential possibility. Once Eddie died, the potential for Eobard to exist was removed, and he was erased from the time stream from that moment forward. It's basically Schrodinger's. I can never pronounce it. Schrodinger's cat. So long as the box is closed, all possibilities exist. It's not until you open the box that all the possibilities disappear and one becomes reality. But that doesn't change the fact that the possibilities existed while the box was closed. On a completely random side note, I've attached a pic I created that I think y'all will find amusing. Also, is it odd that as I write this, I hear Nick's voice reading it? That can't be healthy. and considering that Nick's not here to read it,
it's even funnier.
Yeah. So I'm going to work on getting this image shared.
Schrodinger's? Thank you, Sunsail Schrodinger's.
That was...
Schrodinger's? Is it hard G or soft G? People are posting pictures of all this great cosplay from... I love con season. I really do. How fun.
Speaking of con season, might as well take a moment to mention the...
contest?
The contest. Yes.
Go for it.
So, if you're going to a convention,
yes,
all you gotta do is get a Star Trek celebrity to say that they never listened to the GN show.
Yep.
And you too can be a winner.
Nick is busy at AwesomeCon this week trying to win his own contest.
Yes.
Wondering whether or not he got it from Dina Meyer. Wouldn't that be fucking awesome?
That would be cool.
That would be really cool.
There's the picture that Roger Sanderson, had sent us. So it's the original Enterprise firing upon the
JJ prize.
But I have a problem with this image.
Oh?
I don't think TOS Kirk would fire first.
How do you know that they did? How do you know he's not in defense mode?
That's true, but I don't know. It just I don't know. It just seems like I would almost expect it to be the other way, and there'd be like a caption is, I don't know. It just.
You're so cute. You overthink things.
I like the image definitely, but I'll just shut up now.
Deanna, don't you dare! Oh my God, Deanna, our friend Dean, I should say Dean, who is from the Netherlands, who I got to meet when I was there. She's in the chat room right now. She just got back from FedCon, the big one in Germany. And
nice.
She says, it's too late to let Jerry Ryan say it at FedCon. I was like, shit.
Oh.
Oh, Deanne, it's good to see you. Nice to see you in the chat room, my dear. So let's see. I have a problem with that. The JJ prize is too small, correct? You are correct, Sensei.
Yes.
The JJ prize is far larger than it should be. Oh, penis envy. Okay. Did I say that out loud? I did, didn't I?
Yep.
Yep.
I was
Do we
drinking.
have any other mail?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I was drinking and I was trying not to spit all over my screen and my mic and my keyboard.
Yes, I think JJ had pee. Okay. What did come out? Well, if we're seeing as though we're talking about cons, let's just talk about the con.
Sure.
Shall we just start right off the bat with a Las Vegas update?
Are we still talking Vegas, right?
We are.
Talking about Vegas.
Yes. You're coming to Vegas, right? Star Trek Las Vegas may take place every August, but on this show...
This is where we hang out the rest of the year.
Exactly.
The crew has been fatigued now from so many months in space, and they need to take a break. The landing party has been down to check out the terrain while the crew gets ready to play. They say there's only plant life living on this lovely rock, but a rodent appears wearing a vest.
I had a really weird dream last night.
Oh.
I had a dream that even though Brandon Braga is already announced as being a one of the guests, I had a dream that he was announced and was like the headliner, and William Shatner got really pissed off. And William Shatner got really pissed off because Brandon Braga was above his picture on and I just, it was the weird dream. It was a silly dream.
That is a weird dream.
It was very odd. So yeah, we're still sitting at 99.
Well, I think it would have been 100 if Celeste hadn't passed, right?
I don't know.
Because she was announced early on.
Right.
And then obviously she passed. So I think this would have been the 100 that they were hoping for. So I think they're scrambling for the last one. But I do hope that...
I don't think they're scrambling. I think that there's plenty of people. It's my understanding that even a couple of actors and actresses have been turned away saying that they had too many.
Really?
Word on the street is that Hannah Hatay was turned down, that she won't be going, told that there was too many people, that they had their list. So I'm just happy we got Kipley there. Yay!
Yeah. Celeste is still listed. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm sure that some substitutions will be made. There's no doubt there. But we're kind of all set. We're looking good. Everything's good. The G&T show will definitely have our booth. Brandon Felcher said he'll be there, which I'm excited about. Brand Flex will be there. Kipley Brown will be...
He'll be there in an unofficial capacity this time, so that's even better.
Exactly,
he can enjoy
even
himself.
Better, right? He can enjoy himself. Kipley Brown will be hosting Kipley again. She will be signing photos for her fans at the G&T show booth during the convention. Please stop by, say hi, meet her. She's very sweet. She's very excited about the most recent episode of Star Trek Continued.
Yeah, she
seems
takes
to be
over
getting
oh man, my mind just went blank.
Okay.
Not Sulu, but Chekhov. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Cool.
Yeah.
And
navigation.
So the con is coming together. It's looking really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody and reconnecting with everybody too, and really gearing up for next year. So don't forget, next year is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, and the convention will be 1 day longer. It'll be 5 days next year instead of 4. It sounds like they're pulling out all the stops, which they should be doing, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm getting the chills. I'm all excited. Let's see. So that's it for the con. Do we have...
Roger Sanderson had posted a question in the chat room that I would like to address real quick.
Let's do it.
He asks, random thought, if Kirk met a gender-swapped version of himself, would he hit on her?
Yes.
I think it'd be the other way around. She would hit on him.
That's
and and I think because early Kirk, TOS Kirk, was rather, and we see it very much so in the new films, very arrogant and kind of full of himself or in love with himself. So I think they would totally hit on each other.
Yeah, I think they'd both be weirded out a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
Do they know that they're the?
Oh, do they know that they're?
I
guess that would be the. I guess that would be the. If they didn't know, yes. If they did know, no.
They would almost be a perfect match, though. And since then, everyone's been posting, the covers to the gender swapped Enterprise or Star Trek comics.
Star Trek, the Parallel Lives ones.
Yeah,
which are pretty cool, actually.
I have to say,
Deanne said he would run. He would run, I think. That's right. What was that? Oh God, that scared me.
Female Spock is pretty hot. I'm just saying. Okay.
All right.
I want to play Star Trek Online.
Engineering here. Warp engines are online.
Course laid in, Captain.
Engage.
Your ship.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Your crew.
Move out.
Your destiny.
Why don't we get into Star Trek Online? Oh, you know what, though? Before we do, I did want to post, don't forget, everybody, Star Trek Timelines is still coming out. You can sign up with Disruptor Beam now and get into the forums. And as the game starts to really make its final push towards release, which is coming pretty soon, I would say. I know that they're doing a full panel at Star Trek Las Vegas, so I think that's pretty cool. And I'm putting the link to the chat room in the chat room for Star Trek Timelines, which is a new browser-based game that's coming out for Star Trek fans. And the galaxy map, the factions, and the story choices are being explored in the most recent article, which was May 20th. They do an update once every 2 weeks or so on the front page. So once again, a bunch of love to our friends over at Disruptor Beam. The game looks like it's going to be really fun, really cool, and it'll be available on the web, iOS, and Android-based devices. Okay, so back to the MMO.
A new.
I was going to say we need to talk. We're gonna. I'm glad that Sori is here. We get to talk about House Pech.
Yeah. You have played it, right?
I have.
Okay.
I have played House Pech.
If you have not played it, spoiler alert, get out.
Get out.
You don't want to hear it.
Get out.
Go play it. Go play it. If you have not played it, go play it now. No, but spoilers are coming. Wow. I was in the beginning. I got totally excited because we actually got to see a couple same sex relationship.
Yes. Which now, mind you, what surprised me really was the amount of vitriol that came out because of it. Now,
what?
You haven't seen it?
I stay away from the forums.
Good man. Well, I have to say, to give the people in the forums a lot of credit, the normal crazy in the forums actually is taking the stance of, dude, chill out. That this isn't, it's not an issue. I don't know why you're making an issue out of it. But there are definitely a bunch of people who have come into the forums or have in other on Facebook and in other forums, to be honest with you, are very upset by one person came out and says, I don't see why anything sexual has to happen. And I thought to myself, where is this a sexual thing? And I think that's what bothered me the most was that somebody had the audacity to say that this has no place in Star Trek. And I was like,
oh, come on. Really?
Yeah, but seriously, this has no place in Star Trek. I'm thinking it has everything to do with it.
The only real reference that you got to the whole thing was the fact that they were mates.
Right.
He used
the term mate. Right. That was it.
In the grand scheme of things, this was harmless, but I thought it was about time, and it was well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact even more that they were Klingon women.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of it was harmless. I mean, there was really nothing. There were a pair of warriors. One was just looking out for her mate,
right.
And the other one, her mate, is
it would have been. It was no different than Worf and Jadzia.
Yeah. I mean,
seriously, it really wasn't. And that's what was so funny about when I started to see some of, even, Bram Flakes and I were talking about it last night a little bit, because he was just like, do you believe these people? And I said, no, I couldn't. I was shocked to see that there are still a big group of fans that actually somehow think that, that actually just making a reference to LGBT characters in the game somehow is an offense to all of the world. And I think, whatever, because I'm actually quite thrilled to see that they're starting to be more inclusionary, showing that those relationships do exist and exist now, probably, and will exist in the future, and not just with humanity, but with other species as well. It's just very, very weird. But that was now, mind you, that was the minor part of the discussion. I have to give the forums a lot of credit for kind of poo-pooing that bullshit controversy and then laugh and roll my eyes at having them create another one. So I want to see what was your feeling when you finished the episode, my dear?
Well, I real quick before I get into that, I want to say, I don't know if I should feel happy or sad that Stowe is the one that did it first, but I am happy that finally in the Trek universe this happened. But I don't. But I am pleased that Stowe is not pulling any punches in that regard. I am very pleased with that. But I'm kind of also disappointed that the TV show didn't do it first a long time ago. But anyways,
and I would agree with you on that. That there was a fear, and there was an absolute fear of same-sex couples in the television shows all the way through. But I'm glad to say that if the novels and the novelists have been dealing and have had wonderful same-sex partnerships throughout their books and gay characters throughout their books for years. And one of my favorite characters in the Titan books was, whatever.
And then, okay, so you had asked me about my feelings on the rest of the mission.
Correct.
I thought it was pretty epic. However,
I was going to say, there has to be a but there somewhere,
yes,
right?
There is a but. What happens in Fight Club? The first rule of Fight Club. What happens in Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club. It's the same rule in intelligence work. So what happens at the end of that episode? No songs will be sung, and that makes me sad. And
but apparently they are.
They are, because so
they decided to release. Yeah. Okay, everybody. This is where the big main spoilers come in. The whole mission starts with you finding out that House Pech is, for all intent and purposes, the Klingons' version of Section 31, right?
Essentially, yes.
All right. So,
and it's being operated, surprise, surprise, by the Emperor himself.
By Kahless. And if anybody...
By Kahless.
And so you get to meet Kahless, which is actually pretty fucking cool.
They gave him some good voiceover.
Yeah, they did. Well, the voiceover acting has gotten so much better over the past 2 years. It just... you can tell when... I hate to say it, but I'm very happy to say it. I'm glad that they got SAG-AFTRA affiliated, because they could get some really great actors who know how to act on voice. It's great. Yeah. So so they've been very great. So I loved the episode. I did. So here's the thing, is that they've taken a story where there was this secretive group, and in order for Kahless's sacrifice to count, they have to out themselves as a group, right?
Yeah, and which is why I made that comment in our chat room, is like, what the first rule of Fight Club, it's like, you don't talk about Fight Club, and here they are, but in Kahless's final words is, sing songs of this day,
right?
So he gave them the okay.
Yep, he did. He did give them the okay. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it, is he knew he had to do what to be able to strengthen the Klingon resolve against the Iconians, and also to give them hope that the Iconians could be beat, was to, we need to, and that's exactly how I think story-wise it gets bought off, and that is out House Peg, out it out, and let the Klingons understand the sacrifice he made, let them rally around his death, and be buoyed by the fact that you can knock down an Iconian.
And prove that you can by slamming the Iconian's arm on the table and says, this is it. We can do this.
We can do this.
They can be hurt.
So I think that rule of Fight Club is exactly, you fight, just break it. That's exactly what he needed to do. So that's story-wise, I wasn't as bothered by that. And I'm really not bothered by anything in the story. I know a lot of people.
Episode.
I thought it was a great episode. I thought it was really fun to play. I ended up, there's some people in the chat room who are, overthinking some things, I guess, maybe. I don't know. What else is new, right? In the, did I say chat room? I meant the forum.
Forums.
The forums. Okay.
I was
overthinking
reading
things.
through the chat room. What?
No. In the Stowe forums, where they're overthinking things a little bit about, they were upset that they didn't get to be the ones to fight the Iconian, right? That's really the biggest complaint right now.
Yeah.
That's the biggest complaint that I'm hearing right now, is that you aren't the one who gets to fight the Iconian, that the Iconian fight scenes all occur in a cutscene. And I was like, oh man, and I can understand that from people who are playing the game to fight because they're pew-pew-pewers. However, play a game for the story.
Yeah, for the story-wise, it was perfect.
It was perfect. It was great.
One thing I would like to have seen or added to this episode, and there is still time, hint, Al. I want a trophy for my ship interior, and I want a severed Iconian arm. I know it's morbid, but
I'm sorry, that just cracked me up.
I want a severed Iconian arm for the wall of my ship. I started to laugh
because my first thought was, oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Something I could just slap on a table and go, hell yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's what funny. I mean, after playing that, it's like they missed the perfect opportunity. Yeah. It's like...
Sunsail puts a point in the chat room. She says she had issues with it. We still could have exploded 2 of the 3 generators safely. We never recovered the Iconian arm. And by the way, is the Sword of Kahless gone again?
I mean, there's a lot that's still unanswered. We really don't know. I only played it once, so I'll be playing it again on Thursday. But,
yeah, me too.
So I'll be paying more attention. But that's a good point.
Yeah, we never really see. I think it's like the Sword of Kahless is lost again, or is it? Did they beam it back with them? I don't know. I mean, I guess good, because there were some people who felt, there was the other thing is that there were some people who felt that the Klingons wouldn't have beamed out. That's the question I wanted to ask you. One of the big beefs is, it's like, okay, Kahless dies, the sword is there, the Iconian is pissed off, and the heralds come in, and so there's an emergency beam out. Now, you and I know that it's possible for a Klingon to retreat and still retain honor, correct?
In this case, yes. And in this case, it was very important that they survive.
Right.
Okay?
Because they needed to get the information out.
Yes, they needed to tell the Empire, look, the Emperor sacrificed himself to prove that Iconians, not heralds, Iconians can be killed.
Right.
And very important.
And very
that's
important.
More honorable at this point. Sorry,
and that's
keep interrupting.
No. That's exactly the question I wanted to have answered. Was there was a lot of people who were like, it was a cowardice move was to have the emergency beam out, and they said no, the Klingons would have stayed and allowed the Federation to beam out. And I thought, I don't think they would have all sacrificed themselves if in the middle of everything the objective changed, and the objective changed from, part of me has to ask, I hope there's a story reason why you weren't successful in shutting down the Omega generators, because you weren't. At the end of it, it's a failure. You failed at the mission. Your mission was to go in and shut down these Omega generators, and you don't.
I thought we still had placed the explosives on 2, and there was a one comment that says, let's blow the 2 that we already have. I could have sworn that we blew 2 out of the 3, which is
But still, having one generator working is bad enough. I mean, really. I mean, the omega particles are bad.
Yes, they are. But there a lot had changed very quickly, and the most important thing was that last minute development.
Right. I'm glad to hear. No, I'm glad to hear that you're not as upset about this as other people seem to be, and seeing as though I tend to take your point of view with regard to Klingon honor better most than other people. I'm glad to hear that I wasn't misreading it entirely.
Yeah, I mean, a thought that came to my head is about regarding what happened to the sword, to the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Is an intelligence agency. They have access. Intelligence agencies, they have access to like cleaners. So you could have, I was thinking, okay, so they beamed out, the cleaners beamed in. They, grabbed the arm, they grabbed the sword. They, gave the heralds the finger and left. But that was just a joke. But yeah, overall, I thought it was great because the most important thing, like I said, was to survive at that point. Everything else in the mission became secondary. It was less important. The important thing was the fact that they actually hurt an Iconian. They hurt something that up to this point was almost godlike, in terms of their power, their capability. So here they are. They actually wounded an Iconian. They have an arm as proof, that it can be done, and that's
Mm-hmm.
vital information,
right.
And it's again why you break the first rule of Fight Club.
Right. Now, I think that it was an awesome mission. It was well acted, well executed, well designed, fun to play,
and the environment. I mean, I love the way the hallways looked in that episode.
Yeah.
In that episode. Oh man, well done.
Yeah, it was fun. I really, really enjoyed it. So congrats to everybody at Cryptic on yet another great featured episode. I'll be playing it again. It's a space set we get this time, right? Or what's our reward? Oh gosh, no, the rewards. The rewards are very interesting too for playing it. They're very. You get a choice of
instead of
point. You get a specialization point, which is
specialization
huge.
point, or the crafting. And because I can craft the superiors all day long. In fact, right. I had sent Terry stacks of 100 of everything.
Yes, you did.
Well, I've already recrafted all 100.
Did you
of
really?
Everything. Yes. I mean.
Okay, so I have to ask you, when it comes to crafting the superior tech modules,
mm-hmm.
How do you go about making sure you have enough of the particles that you need? They're very rare particles, like especially for the ones I use a lot of the beam ones, right?
Okay.
To create. So I need the radiogenic particles. Do you get them off the exchange, or do you go grind them? How do you get them? Because I know you get one radiogenic particle if you do the crystalline catastrophe PvE, but you only get one.
Let's see. I get them lots of ways.
Okay.
I've gotten them through the PvE queue. I've gotten through research boxes. I've gotten them through lock boxes, through the research boxes, the R&D boxes.
Uh-huh.
I've gotten them from other fleet mates. In fact, I had traded Will V's Brandon.
Yes.
I had traded him a lockbox ship for a ton of crafting materials, and let's see, and then obviously the exchange. So there are 5 different ways I have these things, and it just depends on what I need, how much I need, and whatnot. But honestly, I have so much stuff to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I began with a ton of R&D materials, and I donated a ton to my friends, to my fleet, and I still have a ton, because I had so much of the original, crafting stuff, or the initial particles, just the conversion. I mean, I filled up my inventory the first day, and then still had a ton left over. So, yeah, there's just lots of ways to get this stuff, and I have no shortage. So
yeah, interesting.
I have stacks of hundreds, and I still don't have any new empty spaces in my R&D inventory. Even after crafting the 100.
This is a real quick squirrel. Deanne in our chat room, as I said, she was at FedCon this year and went to the Germany, and they were the lucky ones who got to see the current status of Star Trek Renegades. And she asked if, and she said she liked it for a fan production. So yay! Okay, cool.
Right on.
I wanted to make sure that we got that mentioned.
Well, we should also mention that on June 3rd, if you contributed to their Indiegogos, Kickstarters, whatever, I do believe June 3rd they're going to be releasing the same version that was displayed on at FedCon. So if you contributed, look for that. That should be coming either June 3rd or real close to my birthday. There's a window, and my birthday falls right in the middle of that window. So I think it's June 3rd, but it could be later in the week. But look for it. It's coming soon.
Cool. Well, I'm going to put the back to Star Trek Online. Do we have a target date for when the Nog episode is going to be released? Do you think that's supposed to?
I don't think they've actually said when it's coming, but I thought it was this episode, and obviously it's not. But it kind of makes sense that it's not because they didn't announce. They announced it after they had already started talking about this one. So I suspect it's going to be the next one. They are releasing these every 4 to 5 weeks. So
It's something we used to have a lot. Remember, I really like the idea of having an episode or so every 4 to 6 weeks. They're giving us a reason to replay them, right?
Yeah,
so
which takes up half of that time at least.
Exactly, at least 3 weeks for you to replay them over the period of time. And then they get put into the line of the story arc, the overlying story arc of the game, which is great for those people who have low-level characters and they have all this content ahead of them to play. I think it's awesome. I'm really liking the way that that's being moved forward now.
You should also keep in mind that these missions during this 3 weeks, 4 weeks of its initial release, these missions are level 10. So
correct.
So you can play them without having to be max level. Granted, at the end of the 3 or 4 weeks, then they are max level. So this is your chance to take them out.
But the rewards will still stay in, right? I mean, it's not like even though they're releasing a new piece of the set, the same rewards will still be available to them after the quote-unquote featured episode period, right? And you'll still be able to access
Yes, the rewards will still remain available, but there will be no timer. You know, like we right now we have to wait a week for the next piece.
They're gating it, which isn't surprising, and it's okay. I mean, like. As Matthew Anderson is wont to do, he's really good at being able to read my mind about where we were going next. And yes, we were going to talk about the Lolonaut Festival. The summer festival at Star Trek Online begins next week. When does it start? Next week. Yeah, June 4th it starts and it goes through July 16th. They are going to be, as everybody knows, the Lolonaut pearls have been retired. So don't forget to turn those in and change them out for all myriad different things. Swap them out for. I was actually kind of bummed to find you can actually get a spec point out of them, which is fucking awesome. Not a spec point, but a specialization trait point or specialization point. And I was actually bummed to find out that, I had none. I went through every single one of my characters and not one Lolonaut pearl.
Aww.
I have a lot of favors, but none of the pearls.
I ended up getting one specialization point out of it.
That's good. For
my main. I haven't checked any of the others. I don't play any of the others anymore. But Sunseal points out that they have got tents, and I saw the picture, and it's like, ooh, they got cabanas. 10 cabanas on the beach now. That's cool. What was that?
I don't know what I'm looking at. What am I looking at?
On the Lolonaut, can't ever pronounce it, but on the link you shared for Stowe, if you scroll down, they got tents on the beach with giant horgons next to them. And yes, Matt Anderson points out that we're getting floral shirts this year.
Oh, that's fun.
So, it's time for Neelix's beach party.
Oh, that's great.
I wonder if they're going to have, Hawaiian pineapple or pineapple motif.
Right. Well, this year the ship that you can earn from performing the the flying over Ariza one. What do they call it? The jetpack one.
Yeah, it's the one where you're
The floater.
kind of sightseeing.
The floater challenge, yeah.
Yeah,
You do the floater, the sightseeing one. You do the floater challenge. If you finish those and you end up with probably what'll be 1,000 Lolunat prize vouchers, you can trade them in for a starship. And this year it's a Ferengi Nandi warship. And did you see the stats that came out for that?
I have not.
There were some people who were worried that the console was the same as the one that came out from the Ferengi ship earlier, and it's not. It's a different console, and it's my understanding that you'll be able to use, although that hasn't been confirmed yet, as to whether or not you're going to be able to use the Ferengi consoles together on the same ship. I don't know. So that has to be confirmed yet. Somebody asked me, are you going to be able to use your old Ferengi console on the new Ferengi ship or vice versa? And I don't know. The question has not been answered yet. So, where did I see the stats? I might have seen a leaked set of stats. I might have seen a leaked set of stats.
Well, to quote Al, do not believe anything that's been leaked. It's all subject to change.
Oh, well, that is true. And to be honest with you, I was, me, I'm not a big stat person anyways. I could kind of give a shit. So I wasn't really paying attention. And the conversation that was occurring in the forums were that, there was more of a discussion about stat capabilities, or not stat, but console capabilities, things like that.
Well, that's an interesting thought that Matt Anderson had suggested. He wants to grind out rep points, for his Delta recruits, which with the birds and with the monkeys, you can get quite a bit of reputation points. But I was also thinking, if you do not want the ship, there's still a reason to, I believe, go through the sightseeing mission.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, to get the prize things and then just exchange them for specialization points. If it is 1,000 and it's 200, if they continue going with what they've done already, 200 Lolunat pearls for a specialization point, and if they collect 1,000 of these things, they've got 5 points right there. Yeah. I'm just saying that might be worthwhile.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if that's what they plan to continue to do, is to offer specialization points in exchange for, there's nothing telling you that that's exactly how it's going to be in the future, right?
Well, that's what the rumor mill is suggesting. That because they've done it already with last year's pearls, they might not do it immediately, but it kind of goes to reason that they'll do it after that.
I'm just saying guard your. Guard your balls. I'm just saying, make sure that you understand that it's very possible that they won't do it. Just because they did it for the Lolunat pearls doesn't mean that they're going to do it for anybody who chooses to earn them and then keeps them and then doesn't get the chip. They could always switch it up on you and say, okay, well, just because you saved them doesn't mean that's what we're going to be doing. I'm
True.
Especially if it means people are not going to be getting the ship and they're going to be saving it up for specialization points. It's very possible that they're going to change their minds going, that's not what we intended. This isn't what we intended people to be doing, was saving up all of these things for a point. I don't know. We'll see. So my little guard goes up and goes, oh man, that's just ripe for them to kind of go, yeah, no, we're not going to be giving out points. You'll get something else, but it won't be points.
It's possible that I don't know. It's just I guess that could be considered an exploit if it's. I don't know.
Yeah. The thought of doing the little fly around, building up 1,000 certificates, and holding on to them so I could get a point,
or 5,
or that's right. It's like 200 for a point, right?
200 for a point. And if they
I can tell you right now, mark my words, they're going to put the kibosh on that. They are.
You figure it takes a month. I mean, if I'm out grinding, in a month, I can get maybe 4.
But time to reward balance is off.
But these are dailies.
But they're like 5 minutes. They're not even 5 minutes of play.
Yeah, but they're still being gated, stretched out over a course of a month. And like I said, if I try, I can get 4 to 5 points in a month.
I would just say I would be very happy if I found out that you could, because I'm not particularly. I've kind of had to slow down my ship collecting, just because I actually, for the first time ever, I went through and released a bunch of ships from Beth's
me
fleet.
too.
Because I had no more room. I didn't want to buy more slots, and I need more. I just need more room, and I know that I'm not going to be flying those ships anymore because Tier 6 ships give you the ability to earn the traits. So that's what I'm going to be needing room for, the more Tier 6 ships. And I have to say, I don't know if I'm going to be getting it depends on, I'm going to be more picky now about what Tier 6 ships I'm going to be flying. And I'm not sure the trait, on the Ferengi ship is going to be awesome enough for me to fly a Ferengi ship. That's how bad it is, right?
Yeah.
I really don't like the Ferengi ships. I just don't. I don't like the look of them. And the idea of, and not the least of which is the story, my brain of having my character fly a Ferengi ship just doesn't float.
But I just want to suggest, not a lot of people are going to want the Ferengi ship, but if it's an option to exchange those same 1,000 for 5 specialization points, that'll get people to do it. I agree. Because they're thinking, yes, it's an easy 5 specialization points, but the thing is, it's still going to take as long, if not longer, to get those 5 specialization points than if you were out in the universe grinding. Yeah. So
it'll be interesting.
I think they can do it. I think it's worthwhile. Hopefully, we'll have to confirm with Al when we talk to him sometime in the near future.
Yeah, that sounds good. We talked about Nog, and the other one I put in there was the. Now you were talking about they will sing songs of glory, right? All right. So who has seen the transition pages now? I'm sure you have. When you transition from one map to another, the map transitions. We used to get screen captures from the players, right? Where it would be like just a screen cap of action from the game. But lately we've been seeing these posters. Have you seen them?
Yes.
Okay. I want every single one of them on my wall.
And guess what? They are being released as wallpaper. Some of them a few
as
at a
wallpaper. Okay. I mean, I actually want physical copies of these things.
Well, just print out or take them to a printer.
Them out. I'm going to do that. Just so you know, everybody at Cryptic, I'm stealing all your shit and I'm going to frame it because it's awesome.
They've been releasing them as wallpaper. That's where I got them. I do not know, but that's where they got where I got the cover art of the Orion. What's her name? Rosie the Riveter. Orion version of Rosie the Riveter.
The Orion version of Rosie the Riveter.
There she is.
Okay, so you guys have. Where are you getting them? Look at this. They're so cute.
It's from Stowe's website, but I'm trying to find the link, and it's not in an obvious place, sadly.
And I even love the one with the Iconian with the 6-eye kind of graphic version, and it just says obey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very taken by these. I love these posters. I think that's probably one of the most fun thing that they have done. Yeah, see, be a warrior among warriors. I love that. That is so fun. I wonder if they just got together and said, "Oh, we're going to mash that up." And
they haven't released all of them yet. They're doing a few at a time. In fact, they've done 2 so far. The We Can Do It and If the Badge Fits. Those are the first 2 that they've released, which is the Orion, Rosie the Riveter, and then the one with the 3 Starfleet colors and each badge. There it is.
Yeah,
a version of that but wallpaper styled. So
I see. I love that. It's fun to see the recruiting posters. I'm just tickled by it, and it was fun for me to kind of go, oh wow, that's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. They're very cool. So glad we got to. But the one I loved was If Your Life Were an Opera. I love that. I just think that's great. Cool. So we have. What are we up to now? We did that. We have announcements.
Announcements. We still have contests going on. We had mentioned earlier the I Never Listened to the GNT Show contest. So if you are at a Star Trek convention or you happen to know a Star Trek celebrity, all you have to do is get them to say, I never listened to the GNT Show. Record it in some fashion.
Right?
Because we have to receive it and hear it for ourselves. And you can get a chance to win Star Trek Catan. So just email us the link or send us the audio file or whatever the case may be, and we will
thank you profusely and send you
yes.
Catan.
Well, the best celebrity.
The best celebrity with the
wins.
what is Rick's? Rick. Where did that come from?
It rhymes with Nick.
Yeah, it might have been. it. The rules is the biggest Star Trek celebrity wins.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
So I think Nick has said
judge.
in the past, if you get like Shatner or it's an automatic win, or Picard or Stewart, it's an automatic win. But then again, he also said that Dina Meyer automatically wins. So who knows?
Nick might have won his own contest. We don't know, but he's the one who's got Catan. He'll still be giving it away. Trust me. Even if he gets Dina Meyer to say it, we'll still be moving forward with the contest. Yeah. We do have another contest that's still ongoing. Believe it or not, people. It is the Star Trek Takedown contest, which is you can win a copy of Star Trek Takedown if you read Star Trek Absent Enemies, which is a short e-novella written by John Jackson Miller, and you determine what my favorite scene in Absent Enemies is. You can win a copy of Takedown. Well, also included, thanks to John Jackson Miller, will be a signed copy of Kenobi, a Star Wars book that he just wrote, and is if I'm correct, I might be able to snag the hardcover version of it. So
Ooh, nice.
It'll be both the Kenobi and Star Trek Takedown, all written by John Jackson Miller. So give Absent Enemies a read. It's short, it's cheap, and tell me what you think my favorite scene in that story is. And the first person to get this wins.
Right on. Not G&T show related, but something I forgot to talk about earlier. Some of the Kickstarter projects that are ongoing. Captain Pike, they have 3 days to go, and they are at $63,686 of their $112,000 goal. Ooh, not a lot of time left, and they still got a long ways to go. But this is something I really would not mind seeing. I mean, they added Walter Koenig. He's writing. He's going to be featured in the film as well. I think this is pretty worthwhile, but they still have a long way to go. So if you can contribute, please do share, get word out there. Next up is Spock's Brain, their Kickstarter 5-year mission. They are at $6,112 out of their $1,500 goal. 11 days to go. They are working towards their $7,000 stretch goal. So there's plenty of time there to get there. So, but this is a 5-year mission, so great music.
Yeah.
So check them out. And then finally, I just want to draw attention to Stephen Fender's The 4 Years War Technical Manual. This gentleman, he wrote a 4-book series on the 4 Years War, which is the war between the Klingons and the Federation before TOS. And it was a Kickstarter project, and he is now doing a Kickstarter for the technical manual that covers all the information that he compiled in writing that book series, which is kind of a unique idea, I thought. He's already raised $4,000 out of his $2,100 goal, so he's already surpassed his goal.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, if this is something that you might be interested in, check it out, contribute. You can actually, as part of the rewards, you can actually get the 4-book series. As well as the technical manual. So, and he is not afraid of patches. I have to tell you, when I got a stack of patches when I got my 4 books. So, I thought I haven't read the books yet, but I thought it was an interesting project, and I supported it, and I'm supporting this one. The idea of that he's taking it one step further by providing all of this technical information that helped him write the books in the first place is going to provide a unique perspective in how not only what goes on in the book series, but in just his writing process as well. So
interesting.
Check it out if you want.
Cool.
So let's see. I have started working on editing the next episode of Gates of Stovall.
Yay.
It's slow going. I have a lot of audio to clean up, but I am working on it, so look for that in the future.
Cool.
Let's see. Bone is still in the process, as well as Starfinder and some of the other productions that are underway.
And I want to just take this moment to throw a little love to our friends over at Club 602. They've been very kind in mentioning us on frequent occasions, and I want to do the same for them. We're kind of different. I don't want to really call them our sister podcast, but they kind of are. They are funny, wonderful, outrageous people, and I love listening to them. And I just wanted to say thanks for being so supportive, everybody. Please support Club 602 as well, because we love them very much.
Yep.
And I think you can find them at club602.com.
Definitely on Facebook.
And definitely on Facebook. I think so. So that's kind of it for today, folks. I don't think we have very many other things going on. Next week, we should be back with Nick, and he'll have, I'm sure. Oh, thank you. There it is. Facebook.com/Club602. Yay. And the Caspian Fleet page. Yay, Caspian Division. So next week, we should be back kind of in the normal group, and we'll hear what happened at AwesomeCon. I have a feeling it was awesome.
I have a feeling as well.
There's photographic evidence of him meeting Dinatra. I'm surprised. I have to say I'm surprised there wasn't a wet spot right in his crotch. I thought he'd pee his pants, but he didn't. So I'm proud. I'm proud of him. And that's kind of it, you guys. Have a great week, and we will see you next week for episode 195. Until then, live long and prosper.
Kapla!
And Jolan True.
Music for the G&T show is provided by Warp 11, Andrew Allen, Grethor, and 5 Year Mission. This has been a Busy Little Beaver production.
Gonna take a 5-year tour. Boldly go where no man's gone before. Gonna travel to the end and make new friends. Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on my yo man. Represent the human race, and we make space a happy place. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I've sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy-free galaxy. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobayashi.